Shabbat Shalom. Hi. I know it's always a little bit of a bummer because you're schmoozing and you really want to schmooze. I think we have it set up in there for tonight for an oneg, so you'll get a chance. Don't worry. We'll start on page 120. And who would like to light the candles tonight? Because I'm taking a cue from Audrey, who said, not in the room right now, she left the room, but she said we've got to have the candles right away because it's gotten dark so early now. Who would like to light them tonight? Bela would like to do it. Okay, Bela, come on up. 120. Yeah. Got it? All right. Here you go. You can hold this. And then Audrey was so kind. She pre-lit this so you can easily light the candles. Okay. There you go. That's good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Oh, that was beautiful. We had quite a duet. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bela. That's beautiful. So the kids at a religious school, they wanted to decorate my guitar. Actually, not at the religious school, at the Tot Shabbat last week. So I got decorated by our youngest members of our community last Saturday, and I noticed it when I came up here that the sticker was still there. So I'll have this sparkly sticker here today, and then eventually I think it'll fall off, if I'm lucky. Yeah. But it's on here today, so that's why that stripe is there. All right, so let's turn to page 128 in your prayer book. And let's sing our song to gather together and to be in our community together. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad, hinei ma tov. Shevet achim gam yachad, hinei ma tov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad, hinei ma tov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad, hinei ma tov. Shevet achim gam yachad, hinei ma tov. Shevet achim gam yachad, hinei ma tov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad, hinei ma tov u'manayim. Shevet achim gam yachad, hinei ma tov, hinei ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hinei ma tov, hinei ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Turn with me to page 130. I know what's causing this. It's an odd vibration. Okay, there, I think it's a little better. Lechun Adonai, let's turn a couple of pages to 134. Zamru l'Adonai bechino, bechino v'kol zimra, b'chatzot tzirot v'kol shofar, hadiyu lifnei hamelech Adonai. Let's end on page 137, where it says Adonai Oz Le'emo Yitain, and it'll run right into 138 Lecha Dodi. Adonai Oz Le'emo Yitain, Adonai Yivarech et Amo v'Shalom. Ay la 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 Adonai Oz Le'emo Yitain, Adonai Yivarech et Amo v'Shalom. Ay la 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 ay la 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 Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamo v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishme'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, berosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoriri, kiva orekumi ori, uri, shidaberi, kevod Adonai alayik nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 Kabbalat. Lechadodi likrakalai yadadai yadadai yadadai. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise as we greet our Shabbat bride. Bo'i v'shalom atadet bala gam b'simcha uv'tzola tochem unei am segula bo'i chala lechadoti likrakala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela lechadoti likrakala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. All right. Please stay standing unless you've already sat down, but you're going to have to stand up again. I'm trying to minimize the gymnastics for you. We're on 140. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid b'boker chesdecha ve'emunet kabbalot alei asor v'alei navel alei higayon b'chinon. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. And we are on page 142. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem l'shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Bachuni l'shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zeitchem l'shalom Malchei HaShalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 144. Yitgadal v'yitkadash meraba be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlech malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael b'gala b'gala uv'izman karif v'imru amen Yehesh meraba mevorach le'alam olam Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitada v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei kudeshah barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yama, Ve'imru, Amen. Page 146. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. La 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 la. Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach, Hamevorach, le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach, le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. Let's turn to page 148. And at this time of year, it's already happened. What has already happened? The time change happened. So last week. So last week, I think it was just kind of at the moment when we came in here. Now it's like dark. It is dark. So Audrey, you were out of the room right before we lit the candles, and I said, Audrey pointed out to me last week, we got to get right on the candle lighting at the beginning. So we did it at the very beginning, and now we come in our liturgy to page 148, where God reminds us of something that is significant in our theology as Jews, which is from the book of Isaiah, where it says that God created both light and darkness. God created everything that is good, but God also created everything that is evil. God created all of these things. So we have a faith in a God who encompasses everything that exists. We don't have an idea in Judaism of something called dualism. There's a theology of dualism in other faiths where there is a force of good and then there is a force of evil. We believe that God is the force, and so everything that exists is of God. And just as we are in God's image, we have the ability to do all the good in the world that God calls us to do, but we also have an ability to create things that are not so good. And so we're called to remember that we are to be a light to the nations, not a darkness. We are called to be good to other people and to be the hands and the voices and the hearts of God. And that is to create a force of good and to resist what is evil in the world, but to remember always that God can turn everything that's evil into good because God is the God of good and evil. And so this prayer right here tells us, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you are the God, the ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being and skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. Isn't that beautiful? You are a creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. And at the bottom it says Adonai Tzvaot. This is one of the many names that help elucidate God's attributes. God designs, creates, and arranges the universe with order and with purpose. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריף ערבים. Page 150. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. We continue on page 152. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivot Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'ribat abam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'aderech u'v'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot ayadecha v'hayu letotifot b'neinecha Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands and keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. We turn to page 157, and I'll ask you to read it with me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neheda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha uvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze Elianu ve'amru, Ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Ya lai 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 lai, ya lai lai lai, ya lai lai lai, ya lai lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai. Page 160. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. And we're on page 162, and we are thanking God that we are here to keep Shabbat. I was watching a video on YouTube, because that's what I do at night. I get in bed and I do what they tell you not to do because of the blue light, you're not supposed to watch videos. And then Sarah knows this is true because, I don't know, 2 a.m, I'll text her and I'm still up, and it's because I'm watching videos online. And so I was watching a video the other night, and it was about an Orthodox family in New York. And they are so focused on Shabbat. Their whole week is oriented to Shabbat. And they were getting ready for their Shabbat dinner. And the wife said to the person doing the interview, the news person, I don't understand what it's like for people who don't have Shabbat. There's never an ending for anything. There's never a reset for anything. The week just keeps going, and it goes around and around. And she said, I can't imagine my life without Shabbat. And I think that was like a really beautiful beautiful thought. And if we think about it that way, this is our moment of reset. This is our moment when we come around. And that requires that we actually guard our Shabbat and we value it and we hold it and we say we love this thing that we have as a Jewish people, this Shabbat, when we can come and gather and we can remember that God has given us a gift. So let's sing Vishamru this time. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. B'nei uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Uv'yom hashvihi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'rit olam. Please turn to page 166 and please rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol, Atah Rav le'Hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'marira Hashem, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechayeh hakol b'rachamim rabim, Somek noflim v'rofei cholim, U'matir hasurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Bicha mocha ba'al gevurut, Umidam elach, Melech memit u'mechayeh, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. You may be seated. We'll continue on page 173. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. And let's turn to page 174. Adonai Eloheinu, Be'amcha Yisrael ufitatam me'ahava tikabel, utehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Amecha El karov lechol korav, Pnei el avadecha, V'choneinu shifach ruchacha aleinu. ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון. מודים אנחנו לך. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You're the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם שמך מלכנו, תמיד לעולם ועד, וכל החיים יודוך סלה, והללו את שמך באמת, האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות. Page 178. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai Hamvarech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom. Page 180. Yiyu l'ratzon imchai fi v'hegion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri v'go ali. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. All right. We have made it through our prayers. We have made it through our Amidah, which are our standing prayer. And now it's time for me to give you some words. And I want tonight to do it a little more interactively than we sometimes do, which requires me to get the microphone. Are you up for it tonight? Yes. Okay, because the worst thing is when I do this, and then I have questions, and no one has answers. And then I think, how long am I going to stand here? Peter is nodding because he is a college professor, and he knows how this goes. It's exactly what Peter was thinking. He knows. And it's silent, and you think, okay. David knows, he's an educator too. How long do you wait? Forever. It feels forever. And then sometimes I'll go back and I'll listen to the recording, and I'll think, maybe I didn't wait long enough, but it felt like a long time to me. So I just need you to shoot your hands up in a timely manner, and don't be shy. And in this crowd, I don't think most of us are shy. But I want to do a little bit more of a conversation tonight. So I will tell you that I have been listening to a podcast. Who has heard of the Shalom Hartman Institute? Audrey knows. Libby, you know. You don't know. Okay. But the Shalom Hartman Institute is a really wonderful organization. They are educators on Israel and just Judaism in a progressive sense. And when I say progressive Judaism, I mean modern Orthodoxy all the way over to conservative Judaism, Reform Judaism, Reconstructionist, renewal, this spectrum of Judaism. And so they really encompass that, and they do a lot of education. And I wouldn't say they exclude other forms of Orthodoxy, but it's mostly the progressive Jews who are very involved. Audrey, you look like you have a deep thought or question. Rebecca Starr works for the Shalom Hartman Institute in Detroit, and she came here about a year ago and did a program for parents, which and also just anyone in the congregation for how to handle the anti-Semitism in our community and with our kids, especially talking to our children about how to deal with what is going on in the world. So that's the Shalom Hartman Institute. They have two main podcasts, and one of them is called Identity Crisis. Now, Identity Crisis is, I recommend it to you. It's very good. It is about Jewish issues that are going on in the world and things that people who are Jewish are just dealing with in the world. And the last 3 weeks, they have had a special 3-part series. This is the name of the 3-part series: Rabbinic Identities, Rabbinic Crises. Ha 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 ha. So I listened to this, and what is so funny is I got a call from 3 separate people in this congregation who said, have you been listening to the identity crisis, the rabbinic crisis series? And I said, yes, I have. So I want to tell you about the first one. And I recommend, if you haven't listened to this, just go onto like Spotify, or I think you can go on the Shalom Hartman website and you can listen to this. It's very interesting. So in the first episode, they explored with various rabbis the question of what it means to be called to service to the Jewish people. And what happens when a Jewish person suddenly feels called to be a rabbi. Some of the rabbis, not all of them, but some of them reflected on the very moment that they realized that the rabbinate was indeed their calling in their life. And then they reflected on the discernment that they went through as they decided to go to school and to actually go ahead and become a rabbi. And the requirement that it had for them of completely redirecting their life path and the way that they lived. And it required many of them to completely change course and what they'd always expected that they would do in their lives. And sometimes to end relationships that they had in their lives, sacrifices that they made in their lives because of what they felt was their calling. Sometimes it required them to give up ideas of what they might achieve or what success meant for them in their lives. And it was all in the name of their calling to the Jewish people and to communities like this one. So this is related very closely to the Parsha this week. Does anyone know what the Parsha is? David knows what the Parsha is. So I'm going to start this for those who are on the live stream. Can you give us not only the name of the Parsha, but a brief summary of the Parsha? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Lech Lecha.
Lech Lecha. What does that mean, David?
I don't know.
It means, essentially, it means get out of here.
Okay. Yeah, so it has to do with Avraham and a whole lot of other stuff that would just be too lengthy for me to get into right now.
Okay, so I have it written down. I have a summary written down here, but I just wanted to see how well you would do. Okay, so this Shabbat, as we read Parshat Lech Lecha, we find ourselves in the presence of a profound moment of faith and calling. God says to Avram, he's Avram, not Abraham yet, Avram, Lech Lecha, which means go forth from your land, from your birthplace, and from your father's house to the land that I will show you. There's a famous song that Debbie Friedman wrote. She said, Lechi la, to a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a land that I don't remember all the words. Lechi la. That goes like, it's 6:45. We'll sing it at the end, okay? 6:45. Audrey, why are you so good at this and I'm so bad? Okay, so we'll do this. We'll sing it at the end. Yeah, I know the tune, but I just can't remember all the words. It's lovely. Okay, so we'll sing that at the end. Wonderful. This is no ordinary command that Avram gets. If you can imagine, he's out in the ancient world and he hears a voice from God saying to him, get out of here and just start walking to some other land. And if you just start walking, I'll just show you what it is. How many of you would actually pick up all of your stuff and take your family and go? I think most of us today would think, I need to go to a therapist. That's where I need to go. But Avram, thank God, actually went. And he followed God. I know I'm making light of it, but it is actually a really, really amazing thing that he went, because I think a lot of us would get in our heads and we would think, something's wrong with me. I can't actually do this. I can't actually make this huge change and just get up and leave. God is inviting Avram to leave behind the world he knows and venture into the great unknown, and to trust in this God who's talking to him, to let go of his need to know every step in his life, and to follow wherever God will lead. And I want us to think about what a leap of faith that is. Have you ever had a moment, this is where someone can share with me, have you ever had a moment when you felt drawn to something beyond what you could fully understand? And a path that felt right, you just had a gut feeling, even though it might have felt uncertain or actually didn't look like the smartest path, it just felt right. Have any of you experienced that? Okay, so would you like to share briefly about this?
Okay, so back in 2010 or so, I was in university, and a lot of tumultuous things had happened up until that point. And there was a person that came in talking about student exchanges overseas, and I had never left my home at that point, and I just kind of went, I'm going to do that. And I picked myself up. My whole family told me not to, and I just went, nope, I'm going to do it. So I spent the better part of a year in the UK having a very scary but ultimately very fun time, and one of my lifelong best friends is still there. She's in Cornwall, and we talk to each other every so often. And it changed how I felt about myself and how capable I am as a person.
Really?
Yeah.
So to step out on faith, you made a friend. You have this lifelong friend now, but more than anything, what I hear you're saying is that it actually transformed you on the inside and gave you confidence because you realized you could step out and do something that was uncomfortable and daring, maybe.
Yeah.
And that set you up for life and challenges that you might have. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think about it a lot.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. So Avram's journey reminds us that faith sometimes means stepping forward without a map. It's the trust that there is a sacred purpose in our lives, and I really believe that. I know some people think it's all chance, but I actually believe that God has a plan for every single one of us in our lives. And our job in this life is to find the path that God has for us and to walk it the best that we can. And for each of us, this kind of spiritual journey requires courage and openness to listen to God's voice and to be willing to go beyond what we know and to be willing to uncover the parts of ourselves. That's what you were talking about, the parts of ourselves that only emerge when we take a step forward in faith. So the Hebrew phrase, lech lecha, I said it means get out. That's my interpretation. That's my favorite definition of it. It means that. But it also can just mean go forth, or it can also mean very literally go to you or go to yourself. So if we step out, sometimes I didn't set her up to do this, but it was a perfect example. Yes, go to yourself. God wants you to go inward and go to yourself sometimes. God is not in this story only inviting Avram to a new physical place, but to a journey of spiritual discovery, a journey toward his truest self. And this journey is one of deepening his relationship with God and of learning to trust the divine in new ways. So as we consider this, I invite us to remember that God's call to Avram didn't include every answer or every step. Avram had to go forward in faith, one step at a time. Just like him, we are often asked to take small steps into the unknown, trusting that God will indeed show us the way. And when we face uncertainty, we can feel, as Avram likely did, I'm sure he did, both excited and completely unmoored and terrified, not knowing where the journey would lead, but sensing that there is something sacred that God is waiting to reveal to him. But he has to take the move first. So let's just take a moment to imagine together what would have happened? What would the world look like today if Avram had said, I don't want to do this? What if he had been too afraid to step out? And what if he had ignored what God was saying to him? Avram would have missed out on a life of connection with God and on blessings beyond his understanding. And I'm not sure that as a Jewish people, we would even be here today. The human race would have missed out if we're to believe that this story is true. But by saying yes to God, Avram opened his heart and his life to a purpose larger than himself, and he paved a way for all of us to do the same thing. The journey that we go on in our life is not easy. Avram faced hardship, and he faced fear, and he faced obstacles that are yet in the story that is to come in Torah. And he encountered the unknown not just once, but over and over and over again. But every step he took in faith was a step toward God, a step that revealed a new depth in his relationship with the divine. Perhaps we too have felt this in our lives, that each step of trust brings us closer to a spiritual wholeness, to something we cannot always explain, but that we know deep in our hearts is sacred and is true. And in our lives today, God, I believe, God calls us to go forth, to take those steps that require faith and trust. And it's going to look different for each one of us. It's not going to look the same for me as it looks for Sheila or Sarah or Mitchell. It's not going to look the same. But it's going to be just as holy. And we can't compare it one to another either, because God's plan for each of us is just as divine and holy as it is for another person. God calls us each to different things, but those things are essential for every single other person who we encounter in this life that we have. I want to ask you, and I'll ask for one more person to share, whoever thinks of an answer first, but it's not a game of Jeopardy, so you don't have to feel like you're winning. What would a step of faith look like for you right now? And what would it mean to let go of needing all of the answers and to trust that God is with you on this journey? What would a step of faith look like for you right now? It's a harder one. Yes, Audrey. Okay, wait for the mic. Here we go.
I think that it's like we have a lot of opportunities at Bethel, especially here, and within our community too. So, and at this point, it's like trust in our current leaders, and like just show up, just be there, like just get involved. And sometimes I tell myself, oh, I need a little more Audrey time. I need to back off a little bit. But then when I see things and hear things, like the upcoming thing Monday night at the JCC with Mrs. Munchuk, who I've known forever, I'm like, oh, how can I miss her story? How can I miss this sort of thing? So I think it's just showing up and being involved and knowing that being involved is going to make a difference and make our community stronger just by showing up.
Yes, I agree. My dad always said, showing up is 80% of life. Robert wants to share too. So Robert, I will let you share. Thank you, Audrey. That was great.
I was just thinking about Abraham, and when God told him to go, it wasn't that easy. I mean, you can imagine all the people that were depending upon him and had to follow. And the livestock, his wives, his children, the people, and they had to have a leap of faith too, to believe in him.
Yeah, they did. That is really, really insightful, Robert. Thank you. I really love that. So I'll repeat what you said. I'll paraphrase it a bit. The people around Abraham, who we don't really hear that much about. We do hear about Sarah and her journey with this as well. But it's not just her. It was everyone in their life. And he also had another spouse, Hagar, and a son, Ishmael. And then they had a son, Isaac. These people, Isaac was later after the story, but look, these people, and then all of their servants and the people who were with them in that area, anyone who traveled with him, his nephew Lot and his family, they had to have faith also. They had to have faith in the leader. That actually takes a lot of trust. That actually takes a lot of faith to say, I'm not in charge, but I believe that there are people who are here that I'm going to follow, and I'm going to look to their leadership. David has something. Yes, go ahead. I just want people online to be able to hear it.
Were they coming from present-day Iraq?
I would have to look at a map. I don't want to give you bad information. I get a little turned around with where everything was in modern times. So we'll look at this because I don't know what it is today necessarily. Now, I've been to Iraq because I was there for a year when I was in the Air Force. And I didn't see Abraham. I didn't see him. No remnants. But I will tell you that it is something that I will look up. I'm not exactly sure. There are people who are really good at that with figuring out what the maps are, but I always get a little confused. So we'll look it up, David. You know I will be good for it. Does anyone else have anything they want to share with this? Okay. So as we leave here today, it is my hope that each of us feels that we are inspired to think about ways in which we are being called by God. Because again, I want to say, I believe that every single person who is created, every neshama, every soul, is called by God for a purpose. And it's our responsibility and it's our privilege and joy in our life to find the path that God has for us, to walk it, and to step into the unknown sometimes with trust. And it can be a small change in your life that you have that is the next step. And it can be just a new habit in your life. It can be a step in a spiritual life and deepening your spiritual life or your prayer life. It can be how you're treating other people. It can be going to the JCC on Monday, as Audrey said, and showing up for the community. That could be something that you're doing. It could be a new job, be a new school. It could be making a move across the country to a new community. You do not know necessarily what it is today, but God is with us in every single step. And just as God was with Abraham, we can see that if we take these steps and we trust God and we talk to God and we have a good prayer life, we will get good directions. So embracing this path of faith, may we each discover our true selves, and may we come to know God's presence in new and beautiful ways on this journey that we have together. Shabbat Shalom. Our Mishaberach prayer is on page 371, and I will read the names of those who we are praying for tonight. I want to also tell you before I go through these names that Sandy Malowitz has been in the hospital for a bit, and she would really appreciate it if you know her and you want to see her. She's a little lonely because she's kind of stuck there. So if you would like to go see Sandy, she would love it if you came to see her. And I can give you the information. I don't want to send an email out to everybody in the community, but the people in this room mostly are close to her because she loves to attend services. And so she would love to see the people in this room very much if you could take the time to go visit her. Tonight we pray for Tony Lee, Hannah Levin, Valerie Horner, Rana Paquette, Jackie Farrell, Miriam Schneer, Avraham Leib, Louise Ziff, Richard McGinty, Morton Kaplan, Bonnie Levine, John Farrell, Lindsay Martin, Tamara Fishman, Martin Jean, Rabbi Jeffrey Ablisser, Igor Korgansky, Kevin Killip, Clara Lobach, Maya Klaz, Susan Tuck Sweetman, Emmett McDonald, Glenn and Melanie Dunn, Sharon Schneer, Rebecca Chappas, Ginny Symbolist, Evgenia Davidok, Dina Fay, Ari Ben Sarah, Linda Stewart, Sandy Malowitz, Cheryl Nicole Wright, Colleen Halpern, Karen Devorah Bat Misodi Van Norman, Lori Curtis, Asher Yisrael, Lynn Berger, Ray Zoy, Nancy Meredith, Ilana Bat Dora. And we also have special prayers for safekeeping for all of our loved ones in Israel. Iris Kaver Berliner and family, Michael Orley, Yuval, and Noam Kessler, and all of the soldiers, hostages, and those who have been released. May they find healing. Page 371. Mishe barach avotenu mikor habracha vehimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe berach imotenu mikor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Page 377. Avinu Shabashamayim Sur Yisrael V'Go'alo, Barek et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Smichat Geulatenu. Hagen Aleha Bevrat Chazdacha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomacha, Ushlach Orcha Va'amitcha L'Rasheha, Sareha Ve'yoatseha, V'taknem Be'etza Tova Milfanacha, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Le'yoshveha, V'nomar. Amen. I invite you to rise and turn to page 586. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula le'otzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'god aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu kodim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlakim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz umoshev yikaro b'shamayim mimahal ushkinatu zo b'gov hemeromim hu Eloheinu einot amit malkeinu efes ulato kakatuf b'torato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mima'al ve'al ha'aretz mitachat einot Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Please remain standing as I read our list of names for Mourners Kaddish. Our recent deaths in our community, we have one, Robert Bob Gerald Taub, who is in the 4th week of Shloshim. Our yard sites for tonight are Bunny Delphin, who is the brother of Mendy Delphin, Jeanette Finkelstein, Reuben Heron, who is the father of Judy Polsky, Arthur Rosenblum, Ben Selby, who's the father of Stu Selby, Sam Shklov, who's the grandfather of Sarah Shklov, Harry Silver, Jack Stein, who is the husband of Barbara Stein, Molly Weingarten, and Jack Winograd, who is the husband of Anne B. Winograd. Is there anyone else here who is also observing a yard site tonight that we should mention? What is his name again? Brent Reed, who's the father of your nieces. All right, thank you, Audrey. And Sarah? Okay, and what's your uncle's name? Chuck Knapp. Okay, all right, thank you. Is there anyone else? All right. And if there's anyone on Zoom who has typed in a name, our kavanah is that we are seeing those names. God knows those names, even if I don't know them enough to say them. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love are we comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. And we turn to page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, v'alma divra kirute v'amlich malchute, b'chayichon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehe shmei Rabba mevorach leolam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei dekutsha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imomav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Zichronam nevracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. So we have some announcements before we move into the chapel, right, Sarah? Okay, she set it up in the chapel. Friday, November 15th at 7 p.m., which is next Friday, we have our monthly musical Shabbat service with me. And also, with Tracy, our cantorial soloist, and with Michael Ricketts, our lovely pianist. And we'll have some wonderful music for you next week. So please join us, and I will be here, and I'll be waiting for you. Sunday, November 10th, which is this Sunday, the Jewish Book Fair at the JCC begins, and it runs all of next week. I also want to talk about next week. I am going to be out of town for a few days. So if you don't reach me, I will have an out of office on. If it's an emergency, please don't wait for me to respond. Please call the office and talk to Sarah, and she will get a hold of me if it's an emergency. But I will not be in any, I will be out of town, so we'll work it out. But I want you to know that. I will be back on Thursday. 3 to 6 p.m. on Sunday, November 10th, we have the Joy of Reading, an adventure for children. That's what they're starting with, I guess, at the book fair. Okay, Sarah's nodding. Monday, November 11th, 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. is an evening of remembrance to honor those who came before us. That is for Remembrance Day. And then Thursday, November 14th, 6:30 to 9 p.m. This is all book fair stuff, right? Okay, I want to make sure I'm on. Creating compelling characters by harnessing my Jewish heritage. And then Friday, November 15th, 12 to 2 p.m. is Jewish roles in the comic book world. It's interesting. And then Saturday, November 16th, 7 p.m., Farmischt, Farklempt, and Farblunkt. I am not good at Yiddish. I apologize because that was all wrong. Okay, what is it? Blunt, okay, I'm not going to try, but you get it. You get it. I can do Ivrit, but not Yiddish. Oh, I don't know what that means, but that's, okay. Oh, I see. Yiddish, okay. All right. Someday I'll learn Yiddish. I know. We need to get a good Jewish deli, and then all of a sudden I'll just eat the food, and the Yiddish will just come. It will happen. Okay. Oh. That's where I'm at right now. I'm lost. Tuesday, November 19th, the book fair will be over, but Ellen Besner from the Canadian Jewish News, she has a podcast. She is coming from Toronto, and she will be here speaking for our Jewish community at 7 p.m. I really encourage you to come. This is a huge kind of deal that she's coming here. She's staying with me at my house. I'm so excited because she likes to talk more than me, and I am just excited. Ellen Besner is coming, and she's doing a talk called Oi Canada at Bethel here in this room. And then Wednesday, November 20th, the next day at noon, there's a luncheon here, and she will talk about her latest book called Double Threat. It's about Jewish veterans, maybe Canadian, I'm not sure, Jewish veterans of World War II. So she will be talking about her book. She will have books to sell if you want to buy one. And that's at noon. You can come at 11:30 for schmoozing. This is an event that's with us and the Military Institute of Windsor. And so they're coming, and I've gone to their program before that they have this luncheon that they do once a month, and they have a bar with beer. So I said to Sarah, we've got to have beer because the military guys are going to expect the beer. So we'll have lunch, and we'll also have some beer. All right, so I think that's everything. I have one more thing, and then Sarah has something else. And then you have something. Okay, so I was called this week. Inspiration 9 Church has been giving to our Jewish community for about a year. And their pastor called, and he said that they have a play that they're doing. It's not a Christian play. It's just a secular play, Sherlock Holmes, and he would love it if you all knew about this. I'll send it out in an email. It's at their church, so you're getting into an interfaith situation, but the play itself is not in any way like trying to convert you or anything. It's just a play that they're putting on. And if you like this kind of thing, his name is Brian. He's a wonderful guy, and they really want to support our community and be warm and welcoming. So if you like plays, it's free. I just need to have you let me know if you're going, and then I can let him know, or you can sign up with them. I'll send it out in an email to everyone, but I want you all to know. He called me the other day. Sarah, what was the thing? Oh, the Remembrance Day event. And is it at the JCC? 11 o'clock for Remembrance Day. Yes. Did the bell just ring? I heard something. So I would encourage you to go to that too. I know, Bill Mechanic works very hard on this event. He's very committed, and I cannot be there. And it's not personal or lack of interest, because I'm a veteran myself. So I would be there, but I'll be out of town. So please encourage or support him. I would appreciate that. Oh, Audrey, you're the representative. I'm so grateful. Okay. So is there anything else? I want to get us out of here, but I want to make sure we get all the announcements in. Okay. What page is Adonai Olam on? Oh, yes, okay. Oh, thank you so much. What page is it? 645. Okay. Oh, Audrey is so great. This is what I need. A ritual director who keeps me in line. Okay, Lechilach. Okay, so I know this tune. Okay, good. So sing it loud and proud, and everyone can learn it. Lechilach, to a land that I will show you. Lach lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechilach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechilach, lechilach, and I shall make your name great. Lach lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechilach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechilach. Such a beautiful song. Thank you. Shabbat shalom. I hope to see you over there. Good night.